Morning, what is up, folks? Happy Tuesday. It is April the 8th. JTW here with another Xtrades FOMO live stream. Hope you all are doing well this morning. Let me get my screen sharing going over in the Discord. Yep, that's good. Go live. My screen right? Yep, there we go. Cool. Right, and then let's get over here to the live stream chat. All right, hope you all are doing well this morning. I think I've got just about everything set up the way I want it to be, ready to go. So, let's kick this off. Let's get going. We've got some trade plans that we just published last night, wanting to give the markets a chance to settle a little bit and give everything market wide a chance to kind of figure out how it was going to move on that gap down that we saw going into yesterday's open. So we weren't essentially putting together plans that were just going to be, totally invalidated is probably the right word to say it, or just had played out entirely, before we even had a chance to do anything with them. So intentionally did wait versus posting those member selected trade plans on Sunday. We got those posted yesterday evening, so we will go over those. We'll go over some trade plan recaps from our previous live streams. And then we will, of course, work on some new trade plans for you all. So if there are any tickers you want me to take a look at, please feel free to start dropping those in the chats. If you're in the Discord server with us and you're in the morning live stream, up in the top right-hand corner, there's a little word bubble looking icon. If you click on that, that'll open up the chat for you so you can see that and interact and let me know what you want me to take a look at. YouTube, pretty obvious. You guys should see the chat right there. So go ahead, feel free to start chiming in. Say good morning. Let me know what you want me to take a look at. Ask any questions you might have. That is what we are here to do, in addition to doing some solid technical analysis and coming up with some plans to make some money, regardless of what happens with the tariffs and the trade wars and all that nonsense. So what's up, Sam? Good morning to you. Navy Plum, good morning as always. So let's dig in. Let's take a look at ES here. Talked a little bit about this, right? This was kind of something somebody was asking about, I think, yesterday, about, or saying that charts tend to precede the news with these kind of things. I know it's something that I say all the time. You all have probably heard me say that. This was really a great example of that, in my opinion, back here where we're running up against, right against this trend line right before the tariff announcement. This trend line has been in place pretty much since, what was it? I think March. Mid-February. So we've yet to really do anything significant to shake or shatter that particular trend line. So we ran up against that, topped out, rejected, pulled back, and obviously we pulled back and lost trillions of dollars in the process on the way down. So market is looking pretty sketchy. Let's take a quick look, though. A couple of things that we could do. Obviously, there was some support found down around this level yesterday. I don't know if that's really an established level or if it just kind of pivoted real hard because of that fake news that somebody planted that should be investigated, that caused like a $3 trillion candle or something like that to fire off in the market, that got almost immediately brought right back down when the White House denied any such idea of delaying tariffs for 90 days. So very kind of, shady stuff going on coming out of the White House and what's happening with all that, but no surprises there. So let's see where we might be looking to. Yes, we did. Yeah, so we got, if we're kind of talking about these zones, per what New Trader is asking, yeah, we got pretty close to our first green zone there. We were 481. We were about $3 off, which, may not be the worst or the biggest miss in the world, considering, how volatile this has been. But I have a feeling there's going to be, in this, again, shades of 2022. If we go back and look at 2022 real quick, right? Just zoom back here. Show you what I'm talking about, because we kind of have been through this before, right? To some extent. Oops, sorry, went too far. All right, so this is 2022 right here, right? We would get these sharp sell-offs and then a few days of bounce that ultimately topped out, dropped us lower, oh look, we're breaking out, we're moving to new all-time highs. No, new all-time or new 52-week lows. So you will see these bounces taking place, right? I don't until there is a clear and final resolution to what's happening with the trade war right now and these tariffs. I don't. I would say continue to look for opportunities to short the rips, right? I think we are still trying to develop a trend here. If there is one from an ES perspective, or sorry, this is SPY. No, ES does have a trend here. I don't have the line on SPY. That's right. So let's go back to ES because you asked about the zones. We were talking about this. So we do have, let me get back to that, plenty of room to move up before we really run into real trouble and it gets rejected again, right? Based on this trend line that we've already seen provide pretty significant resistance several times since it got itself into place there in February. So trend is your friend. The trend is pointing down. So it's generally a good idea to look at spots to short the rips, but obviously, don't go chasing, short entries blindly either, even though the market is definitely seems to be heading that direction. And the most important factor there, again, that I can't stress enough is when we're talking about something like these tariffs, everything could be going perfectly your way and then absolutely turn on a dime and go completely the opposite direction right in the middle of a trading day, because somebody sends out a tweet and could be true or false as we saw yesterday, but it's how do I say this, like people say like scam market and I don't ever want to use the word scam market, but it's definitely a kangaroo market. It's not normal what we're seeing right now, and so this is definitely expert mode times survival mode. So I guess what I'm trying to say there, to make a long story short, is just keep your position small, stay nimble. Cash is a position. This is a great time to focus on education. You're in the Xtrades Discord community, hook up with somebody and get some mentoring or something like that. Spend this time really kind of honing your skills and being ready, and start putting in some analysis on where you think these bottoms will be, or where you think good entries and exits will be. Because there will come a time where the market does go back into easy mode, and that's not when you want to be learning, when you should be kind of actively and aggressively deploying your cash into the market. That's not where you want to sideline yourself with a bunch of education, right? So take this opportunity, is what I would call it, to learn more. Again, if you don't have a mentor or somebody that's working with you one-on-one, I highly recommend that. Or comb through YouTube, comb through the Xtrades educational videos. There's all kinds of resources available to you, but yeah, definitely spend this time learning, more so than trying to catch some of these hyper volatile moves, because they could just as quickly pay you a lot of money as they could totally wipe out any money you put into that trade. Average bounce back for 2022, or is that, I don't know if that's a valuable metric, LB73, because the bounce, if I remember correctly, kind of didn't really start until like October. So, and then from there, we never saw it again. We went to all-time highs that the market has just pulled back from. So yeah, I don't know if that's a very valuable metric. It bounced back in October of, like I said, 22, and we've never seen those levels again. It's been nothing but onward and upward, and new all-time highs for the most part ever since then. When it would bounce from time to time. Yeah, I don't know if that's like, I don't think that we can really anticipate that any of these moves that we're going to see are going to necessarily like mirror those percentage moves. I did try that using 2008 and 9 as an example when we were seeing the 2022 pullback, and it did kind of follow excuse me, 2008 and 9 for like, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, it was maybe like 6 weeks, let's say at the very most. But then after that, it was just, it was its own beast, right? So that could have easily been, as much coincidence as it was, um, you know, like actually mirroring those moves. So yeah, I don't know if that's super helpful. I think it's better to kind of have a plan for how we're going to handle this. So just taking a look real quick, I do want to kind of talk about some potential supports. Obviously, we caught this 48, 41, 50 level. Not one that I currently had mapped out on my ES chart because I tend to revamp these levels on a pretty regular basis. And the last time I did them, anything this low seemed kind of ridiculous, like we would never see it again. But here we are, right? So if there is a level near where we bounced yesterday, like a good confirmed support and resistance level, probably sitting right about here. So we looks like we probably, yeah, swept below it a little bit. Another interesting support key level just below here. I'm just looking at some potential ES levels. I mean, we've got them mapped out on SPY, but it'd be good to have them on ES as well. And just kind of higher time frame, big picture levels. Where could we see, you know, there be enough of a support level established that it essentially could catch a falling knife? Yeah, I think we got one pretty close to here. This may not be exact, but it's pretty close to that. 46.18, and then on the way back up through some of these levels, this is an interesting, fairly decent pullback. I don't think we visited. Oh no, we did. Okay, cool. Yeah, like this level right here at 50.51. Yeah, there's something decent there too at 51.71. Kind of loosely drawn there, but I think effective nonetheless. So as we look at this, again, topping out right here at the key, selling pressure on Neptune hourly. We've seen these setups before. We've had several. This was a good pullback off of it. And then on the 4 hour caught this top absolutely perfectly, which is why, again, we go through these different time frames on purpose. But yeah, 4 hour had it absolutely wired, and looks like it's got us wired here as well. Actually, yeah, we've got a confluence there on the hourly and the 4 hour. So this is actually a really interesting spot for things to try to push above this 52.48. And honestly, we've got this liquidity above at an actual level over that. So I'd say 53.07. You know, anywhere between here and there, great spots to probably look to short the rips and go ahead and use that 53.07 as your stop, I would say. All right, so let's get into some trade plan requests, but that is kind of the take on the market in general. Overall, this, you know, looks to be kind of setting up a bounce that will probably be sold off. I think also, if somebody who is in the mix here and happens to know this off the top of your heads, isn't the deadline for China to drop their tariffs or do something along those lines like noon today, or Trump's putting like another 50% on China, on the Chinese tariffs? Correct me if I'm wrong about that, but that you know, assuming we don't hear any news or updates on that by noon, and Trump comes out and says, "Okay, we're moving forward with this," that's expect things to really, you know, wet the bed. All right, so let's get into our trade plans that we set up last night that we're going to be watching this week and going into next week. We've got, yeah, okay, thank you, Sam. I appreciate that. Yeah, so keep that in mind, folks. 12 p.m. today is the deadline for China to respond or drop its tariffs. I think China has already said, screw you, we're ready for this fight, and I don't expect that to change, regardless of how, you know, what tariff threats are thrown out there at this point. So, you know, I don't expect the ball to move there. I think Trump will be then forced to put his money where his mouth is and increase those tariffs like he said he would by 50%. And I think that that is going to cause a real crap show. So be ready for that. Long story short. All right. So Tesla, what are we looking for here? No breaks any direction, which is good. That's what we're looking for when we set these plans up. That's why I waited until last night to do this. But we're still looking for this call entry over 251.67 with our targets overhead there at 265.24, 274.71, and 291.21 with a stop loss average down at 241.33 to the downside. Excuse me, we're looking for a break below 214.73 with targets at 295, 188.91, and 176.68 with a stop loss average down there at 224.37. So keep your eyes on that with Tesla. Meta was also on our trade plan request. We're seeing a lot of this, by the way. Not so much on Tesla, but I saw it on, Meta and Amazon both. Running right up into this key selling pressure. Now we're seeing it on Meta. We saw it on ES a moment ago. Lots of stuff up against key selling pressure from a Neptune standpoint here. So just keep that stuff in mind. So what are we looking for here on Meta? We're looking for a break over 539.91. It looks like we're trying to test that here. Pre-market, that should give us targets at 552.42, 567.12, and 581.83 with a stop loss average down at 530.06. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 511.53. That should give us targets at 499.57, 486.15, and 472.37 with a stop loss average down at 522.50. Those are the Meta trade plans that we published last night, so keep your eyes on those. Alerts are set. They will pump into the chats once they start to hit. And then Amazon, we just talked about this again, very similar setup. Big, perfect rejection off that Neptune. Key selling pressure there, so seeing lots of these in the market as of late. Also trying to test and get through there, but we've got a little bit more room, I think, before upside's confirmed. So this one we do need to get over 185.13. Then we'll be looking for targets up near these SMAs at 190.19, 193.90, and 198.38. Stop loss average down at 182.18. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 176.84 with targets at 172.87. 169.24 and 165.09 with a stop loss average down at 180.42. All right, let's take a quick look at some of our trade plans that we did recently. We did coin. I think coin, played out all the downsides and then some. This was from last Tuesday's plan. I do need to do a better job of marking where these plans start. So this is last Tuesday's plan. As you can see, ran up, got very close to our PT1, but rejected that 200 SMA and then just massive pullback ever since then, along with the markets back testing, flat topping up here near this resistance and starting to run into some NTS sell pressure. So coin could provide another short the rip opportunity. I wouldn't begrudge anybody from taking a shot at that if we do get up near this 167 to 169.02 area. Take some puts, keep your stop loss up there at 174.64. Got a nice confluence up there with Neptune. Key selling pressure there. Tesla, we've done a new plan for Tesla, so let's not worry about that. I don't think I have any plans set in those spots. This is one where we had to... Oh, actually, we still need those because that's the old version of this, so never fixed it for this particular plan. So this is one of our Thursday live stream plans. This was Restoration Hardware. It dropped, let's see, this is Wednesday. So it dropped pretty hard and then dropped Thursday pre-market below our put entry, tap PT1, came back up and ultimately pulled back a little bit further before it's tried to push higher now. Kind of running right up against this stop loss average down there at 173.48 that we've had on watch since last Thursday. So showing some good resistance there, but on the, I guess, positive side, it does seem to be trying to break out here over the Neptune bear flag. However, Restoration Hardware is not one that trades very well during extended trading hours, so this is one of the few where I would say probably defer to the regular trading hours chart, in which case we're heavy under the sell pressure, and that does look a lot cleaner with that bearish ribbon literally catching those tops and creating that downtrend lower highs inside that bear flag. So Restoration Hardware looking a bit bearish. And then let's see what we've got here on flow. This is Flowers Foods. I think we've talked about this one a few times. This is like the only name in the entire market that actually hit some upside targets while everything else was selling off. It has pulled back as the market has pulled up, so kind of a weird inverse market indicator, but in a way, this could be one that does pop. Yeah, this is another one that is a regular trading hours. Could be that if this does, if the market does drop, this could pop really hard. So, oh, that's wild. And that's during the trading day. That was at 10:30. Huh. We ran all the way up and hit our third price target and dipped like that? I totally missed that. Well, I guess we nailed the move. That was very quick, though. Hang on, let me take a look at this. Holy shit, that happened inside a single 15-minute candle? I totally missed that. That's wild. All right, well, anyway, let's get some new trade plans here this morning. I saw that we had message retracted. We had Apple, I think I saw. Yeah, Apple, please, from Tony. So let's start there. And then I think I also saw laser, opinion on laser. Yeah, we'll take a look at that. All right, so let's go. Playbook for Apple. All right, Apple, what you got for us? This right now. Yeah, we're probably going to have to add. Most of my Apple levels are quite a bit higher. You're quite a bit lower now. So let's take a look at this. Let's zoom out. Interesting that Apple is right here on the 200 SMA on this weekly chart. That's kind of a positive little indicator support happening there. That's good to see. Let me make a note of something here real quick. I'm thinking about adding some additional volatility adjustments to this for higher, that would be automatically applied to higher time frames, especially stuff like the weekly chart. I feel like caught that bounce really nicely, but feel like this does need a minor calculation adjustment. It should have caught that bounce as well. Sorry, just noticed that. So finding these examples and using them as ways to make continual but gradual improvements to Neptune is what is making it the money-making machine that it is. All right, so where are we looking at? Let's hide our indicators for a second. I just want to focus on price action for a minute. Now there is a level right about here that I like on the weekly 22, 23. Pretty decent. There is something. I'm not sure, this could be a daily level. Check that in a minute. Well, that could be the level we're trying to hold here. It's another, need to wait and see though. This is a pretty decent weekly level right here, actually. And something close to this. Pretty close. Right there. All right, let's see what we've got down here, and then we'll move on to pretty solid. The daily chart. Let's take a look at this. Where is this level hanging at? We can see a little bit more data here. I think it's just a little bit high right there. Yeah. And it's going to be a daily level. That was a question mark. Rejection, rejection, rejection. Resistance or support touches there. We right through it there, so that's still kind of a wait and see for me. Here, I think this level actually to this, and now we have a good daily level. Okay, cool. All right, let's see where that puts us. Definitely a really interesting daily level right here. Could be our pre-market resistance point as well. Yeah, I think it's something. Right about there, we came just shy of it on that rejection, but all right. I think we're looking pretty good. Probably fill in the blanks using smaller time frames at this point. Excuse me. It is crazy pollen season in my neck of the woods. It's like everything has been hit with a yellow smoke bomb. Sometimes that wreaks havoc. Okay, all right, sorry. Getting a little bit into the weeds, but I think it's worthwhile. All right. Excuse me. Let's go. Let's throw our indicators on. Let's figure out what we want to do with this Apple trade plan. Sell pressure, sell pressure, sell pressure, all the way up until this big rejection right here. This was still an iffy level. Maybe it does need to be a little bit higher. Seems superfluous. Let's see if this gives me some confirmation back here. Oh. Yeah, that helps a little bit. Should be something. There we go. Yeah, I like this. Okay, cool. All right, just wanted to make sure it was an appropriate adjustment. I'm not going to carry both of those. So let's go here and here. Okay. So, what are we looking for on Apple? This is a bit risky, but I think there's an opportunity perhaps at least catch this move up until this key sell pressure. Apple can break over that 191.39 weekly level. We're going to play that. This daily level is down just a little bit. Yeah, right there. I keep a relatively tight stop on it here at 186.42. So there's our entry. I like this second price target, third price target, I think takes us up to this daily level. All right, so that's the upside plan figured out pretty quick now that we got the levels in place. Let's see what happens below 176.61. Is that the key break? these off. Could actually be a level here. Again, we're filling in the blanks. Yeah, there's something here. Come on, chart. Yeah, I think this has a chance to go short. Just a little bit out here. Let's check this out. Again, sorry, apologies if I'm getting into the weeds, but I want to make sure we've got these levels dialed in, especially with all the volatility. A little bit of extra time for some better trade setups. 100% time well spent, in my opinion. Yeah, that still works pretty well, I think. And I think we also have level right in here. What's up, K Money? How are you, brother? Hope you're doing well. Yep, I like that. So, the question is, it's a good first price target. Is 174.66 even relevant? Still recovering from yesterday. Did you get too heavy on the put side of things? And when did you enter your puts? I guess that's probably also a really good question. If you got into puts, let's talk about it a little. Maybe we can help you and help others in the process. Come on, move faster, chart. Yeah, I do like this level as a first target. Second target, and another fill in the blanks. Third target, yeah, I think is this weekly level down here at 166.27. All right, so let's put these in. Two, 631, 2, loss 186.42. Put entry 10 down to 174. Oops, 66, 169.31, and 66.27. Stop loss at 184.13. No shared stop loss. Cool. Good. And let's turn the indicators back on now. Let's tighten that up just a little bit. My offset's a little bit much. Yeah, it could go even a little tighter. Better? All right. Oh, let's get the X offset off a little bit there too. The offset. There we go. That looks better. All right, so let's go. Let's actually hide these levels. And we will also put our where we did this plan down on the chart. Okay, let's go. We're ready now. Sorry if this got into the weeds a little bit. I'll try to do the next plan quicker so we can get through it. So I still have time to do the daily SPY plan. We'll be good to go. All right, so here is our Apple live stream, and does that not work? There we go. And let's get this over in the lists. So what are we looking for here on Apple? We are looking for a break over 191.39. That should bring us targets at 199.92, 206.31 and 215.02 with the stop loss average down at 186.42. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 180.10. It should bring targets at 174.66, 169.31, and 166.27 with a stop loss average down at 184.13. So let's get, before I forget, watch lists, message link. Let's get our alert set up. 30-minute regular hours. Alert. What? That's new. Yeah, same as chart. Well, I like that they're adding this in here now. Good stuff. Now I can change that without having to change my chart time frame. Way to go, TradingView. You continue to do things that I like. All right, cool. That's a nice little addition they've made recently that I'm just now seeing. All right, so we'll put this one on watch until next week. Close of business. Shit, screwed that up. Sorry. This is our Apple live stream plan. Whoops, live stream plan. One. So let's do this. 2 live stream plan. 1. Okay, cool. So alerts are in. Let's also save our indicator template here. This will be Tuesday live stream 1. Okay, cool. Yes. All right, let's go. That is the Apple trade plan. Alerts are set. You guys are locked in. Let's see. What do we have next? I think we had laser. Navy Plum looking for laser. Sharks with freaking laser beams. Yeah, lasers played out nicely for us in the past. I think this is still a really good name to keep on watch. Caterpillar just recently announced that they're using lasers LiDAR technology for, I think, like self-driving heavy equipment. I think LiDAR is going to be the future of autonomous driving vehicles, despite what Elon might tell you about, well, human beings don't have lasers shooting out of their eyes. Well, maybe they should. We'd be able to see a lot more. Nothing wrong with building technology that is more advanced and has better capabilities than human beings. So, best of luck to Elon on that. But I think they will be beaten to market on full self-driving by somebody who is incorporating LiDAR into their vehicles. Works in Frito's packing already. Yeah, it's, you know, it's pretty incredible stuff. I think Steel Chainsaws, who has a massive US headquarters here, and they have these really impressive robotic forklifts. I think they're using LiDAR as well. So they don't have like warehouse staff unloading tractor trailers. They have robots that do. They've had them for years now, probably 10 plus years. They've been well ahead of the curve. Steel is a STIHL. I think they're German company. All right, but let's figure out what we're gonna do with laser. We don't have anything lower than this to work with. So let's go ahead and do this. We are going to need, get to current, please. You're going to need some trend-based fib extensions. This is the current low, which, yeah, pretty clear, I think. Trend that took us there, right there. Oh. there. That's where I want it. Yep, perfect. All right, so we do have some fib extension levels to think about. Also, it's out. It's our only way to find any of these downside targets below a certain level. I need to adjust this down a little bit. That's better. Tweak all these real quick. Sorry about that. There we go. All right, that looks good. So we've got, you have an interesting little confluence over here too. Here on the hourly. Yeah, I need to really accelerate this. Okay, so hour two real quick. I just want to see something. Price target here. 604. Here it's 645. All right, let's zoom this back in. I like those upside targets already, so I think we're good to go on those. The question is, where do we get in? Where do we stop out? If we wait for 542 to break for upside. Stop loss. Yeah, I was looking at this already. Yeah, right here. They're at 518. Where does downside get interesting? I think it actually, yeah, I think we could, we start getting back into these fib extensions. Could say 4, well, this pre-market low is interesting. But there's nothing else to go. Oh, no, there's some prior supports very close to that. So, yeah, let's take a look at it like this, actually. It's all support, but there's actually some data there. So, I'd rather use it. So, I'd say 447 and then 425. Now I'm down to 387, and we can share a stop loss with the upside trade plan. So, laser trade plan is going to look like this. 542. Wait a second. Mark this level correctly. There we go. All right. So, 542 on up to 570, 604, and whoops, 645 with a stop loss at 518, downside 485, takes us to 447, 425, 386, shared stop loss at 518. This is a shared stop loss. Okay. Boom. I screwed something up there, didn't I? Oh, yeah, I forgot to put stop loss. What did I screw up there? Entry, put entry. Huh? Doesn't look right at all. 542. Yeah, those are the right levels. Oh, I know why. My offset is still set very high for a ticker that trades more than in the single digits. That's why. Like, I thought that looked weird. Then I've got, I know what the other problem is. Why the stop loss looks funky. Shared, because this needs to be at 518. That's why. All right, sorry about that. It's like, what in the world's going on? Okay, so let's just real quick, so they don't distract. Hide our drawings. That looks pretty solid. All right, let's go. Here is our yeah, we could see them getting ready to cross. Yeah, thank you, Lance, but I did catch that eventually. I appreciate you trying to help. Laser live stream plan looks like this. This is a great one to play shares on. In my personal opinion, we've done that once already. That played out very well. Let's get over to the watch list. This here as well. We can also go ahead and grab our message link. Put it here. Template. Stay live stream 2. Set our alerts. So 30 minutes. Expiration week. And this is stream 2 or 8. All right, so that gets our alerts set. Our indicator template locked in so we can come back to this as needed. All right, so what are we looking for here on laser? We are looking for a break above 542. That should give us targets at 570, 604, and 645 with a shared stop loss average down at 518. To the downside, we're looking for a break below 485. That should bring targets at 447, 425, and 386 with a shared stop loss average down there at 518. Those are your laser live stream plans. All right, folks, that puts us very close to the market open. I do need some time to go get the SPY plan put together and published to the Xtrades options watch list. That's our money maker every day. So please, please, please make sure that you look for that in the options watch list. For those of you watching on YouTube, if you haven't already, come give the Xtrades Discord a chance. Check us out. We have free trials available, so you can, kind of poke around, see if you like it before you decide to take the plunge and join us. I highly recommend a lifetime membership personally. But that's just me. I joined Lifetime like years and years and years ago, and now I'm here running these live streams. So with that being said, as we always tell you here on these FOMO live streams, plan your trades and trade your plans. Go out there and get some green. Keep your wins big. Keep your losses small. We will be back Thursday morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Lots of fireworks until then, I am sure. Also be very careful. Keep your eye on things here coming around noon today. To see if China does not pivot, which I do not expect them to do that. How shortly after that 12 p.m. Deadline does Trump fire off a tweet or hold another press conference or something like that to talk about the extra tariffs that he's getting ready to put on China to further escalate the trade war, which I think will further drive the stock market down. So if that doesn't happen, could be a very different story, but that's what we've been told is supposed to happen. So with that being said, again, you all have a fantastic day. Thank you again for spending some time with me. Come back here this Thursday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be ready to go to review these plans and the other plans we have in place and work on some new ones and give you some market updates. So please join us then Thursday morning at 8:30 Eastern a.m. Wait, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. There we go. All right. Have a great day, everybody. I'll see you on Thursday.